everybody. My name is Jim Shelby. I'm sitting here today with John Zarbock. Excited to be here with John. So we've got lots to share with the audience, but I really want to hear a little bit about you. So I'm going to challenge you to something. And so you guys know, none of this is scripted. It's just kind of off the cuff. We don't plan out what we're going to say. The only question I ask is there any question I can't ask? And John said no, he's no open book. So I'm going to challenge that theory here for just a little bit. But in 30, 60, 90 seconds, somewhere under a minute and a half, tell us about you. Who are you?
You want to get inside here? You want me to get in here?
Let's
get in here. So, about me. So, my name's John Zarbock. I am from South St. Louis, born and raised. I grew up in St. Louis Hills, Kings Highway and Holly Hills. I'm in the military. I've been in the Army for 16 years. I'm in the Missouri National Guard currently. I am a Deputy G6, which is a communications officer. I'm a major. I work at the 35th Infantry Division out of Fort Leavenworth. Currently, I own a fitness business, a smart fitness studio called Freedom Fitness. We're located in the Central West End. I've been doing that off and on for about 3 years. I had a deployment last year, my third, that I went to Kuwait, second time in Kuwait, the third deployment. Got back from that in March and decided to kind of take the fitness business that I had started before I deployed to the next level. Found some very high-tech, amazing fitness equipment that was the first to make it to St. Louis and to the Midwest, and just got really, really excited about a whole new technology and a new approach about how to attack fitness. 'Cause it's really a big passion of mine. I've trained soldiers in the Army for many years, leading from the front and just making sure that physical fitness and PT tests are to standard for a lot of these soldiers. That it's just, I fell in love with doing it so long ago, even as a lieutenant, it was something that I loved doing. So I just decided that doing the full-time Army thing, I needed a break from that. I've got 11 years active duty. And I just wanted to kind of see if I had the chops to take my business to the next level.
Awesome, very cool. That tells us a little bit about what you're doing, but who were you before? Did you say where you went to high school? As a St. Louis person, I feel like that's important to ask.
That's a tough question to answer for me. I started high school at St. Mary's, which I absolutely loved. I've got lifelong friends that I met from there. And then I got into a little bit of trouble because I was a kind of a jerk kid. And my parents, my mom and my stepdad and I didn't get along very well into my mid-teens. And so I ended up moving out to my dad, my other stepdad, house in Fenton, and I finished my high school. I graduated a semester early. I really didn't like high school much, but I went to Fox High School. I graduated from Fox the spring of 2002. Such a long time ago, it feels like. And then I immediately went to Merrimack to start college when I was 17.
Gotcha. What was the focus for college? What was your major?
So when I went to college, I had almost no direction. I was like the first person in my family to ever go to college. The only thing I knew was that I was going to go to college. That was like drilled into my brain as a very, very young kid. My mom made just crazy sacrifices to make sure that I had the best of, education and that there was no way I wasn't going to go to college. But our falling out that we had when I was 15 and I moved out to Fenton lasted until I was 18. So there was 3.5 years that I didn't talk to my mom or my stepdad. And my dad that I had moved out with to Fenton, he was more of he was like an uncle dad. He took care of me financially, but didn't really have a whole lot of interest in personal life. And so I was kind of left up to my own devices to kind of figure life out and kind of raise myself. So that's when I decided to enlist in the Army because I didn't really know what I was doing and I didn't know how I was going to pay for college. When I was in Merrimack, the only thing that I knew from such a super young age was that everyone told me how good at sales I was. You're going to be a great salesman one day. You should be in sales. And I was like, okay, well, if you're going to understand sales, you have to understand business. You have to understand finance and economics and all these things. So what I ended up doing was taking 2 years of business courses at Merrimack. Almost no core classes, because again, like the guidance counselors there, they don't know, they don't care. So I took over, I think it was like 18 classes, and they were all electives.
So after 2 years, you weren't any closer to graduating.
I had a bunch of information. I had read a lot of books, and I had, taken the public speaking courses and the Business 101 and small group business and business law and all these things. And then when I transferred to SLU, when I enrolled in 2004, I contracted with ROTC at Washington University. But I was in my undergrad at SLU. And I got there, and they were like, hey, you've got a lot of credits here, but none of them matter, because they were all electives. And so I ended up having to be a communication major because ROTC said, the Army said, oh, well, you have to graduate on time with your class. So the only major that you can choose based on the credits you have is communication, which is like public speaking and public relations, which wasn't a bad thing, but it just didn't really set me up for any skills that I didn't, in my opinion, already have. I had been a leader in the military. Speaking in front of people is not something that is difficult for me at all. But I wanted to go to business school. I wanted to major in business and minor in English so that I could be a good writer. I could have a really good command of the language and be able to speak intelligently with business acumen. And that didn't work out that way. So.
Right. So you've lived a couple of different lives. You said you were in Kuwait.
Mm-hmm.
Where else have you been around the world?
So. It's interesting because I don't travel in my personal life. I mean, I would love to, but I love what I do in the military. I love what I do with my fitness business. I have close friends here. All of my traveling comes professionally. So I've been to Kosovo, which is in the Balkans. It used to be Serbia, but now it's not. It's Kosovo. I've been to Kuwait twice. I've been to Saudi Arabia. I've been to Germany. I've been to South Korea. I've been to Japan.
Not North
to
Korea.
The airport. Not North Korea. But if I had, I couldn't tell you about it. Let's see. I think that's it. And I've been to Ireland, technically, in Shannon. We stopped at the airport on the way to Kuwait.
Nice.
Yeah, I like it.
See any leprechauns?
I did not.
Okay.
But the grass is really green there.
I believe you. Same in Colorado.
I've never been.
Anyway.
I'm scared to go to Colorado because everyone who's ever told me that they've been has told me they don't want to come back.
Funny that you say that. My dad went to Denver and didn't want to come back. So I've been a few times, like flying through, driving through.
Well, what's fascinating about Colorado to me is, have you ever read the book Atlas Shrugged?
Yes.
Ayn Rand?
Yes.
So the Gulch.
It's about yay thick.
It's my favorite book. I got a tattoo that basically is like an homage to it, amongst a bunch of other things. But my son's middle name is Atlas. So it's kind of a big deal. It resonated with me really deeply in my early 20s. But Gulch is in Colorado.
It's all coming together now.
I know, right?
A little bit.
Yeah, a lot of foreboding there back in the 40s when she wrote that book.
I did it just as a confession because it is like a 7,000-page book.
Are you going to be okay confessing if we're not in a taxi cab?
No, I'm fine.
Oh, okay.
I'm fine. I confess most places I go. But I may have read every third page. I may have skimmed. We were reading it as part of a project, and it was like, okay. So it was a page turner for me, but probably not in the way that it was a page turner for you. So now I feel compelled to go actually read every word of the book.
It's very philosophical. I mean, it is fiction, but it changed my life. It changed the way how I see the world. It changed a lot about how I see myself, how I want to see myself. And the same thing happened to me when I read The Fountainhead, same author. It was a book about, it's a book on philosophy, but it's also fiction, and it's rooted really deeply in architecture in New York, and Being the best version of yourself, having, sticking to your convictions, understanding who you are, what you want, and just making no excuse, no matter how hard the decision might be. Always doing what is best for you. And so, like, for me, that resonated so hard for me in my 20s.
So I want to see what kind of audience reach we have with this, because, like, now I'm fascinated. Not physical. It's philosophical. Somebody send me a message somewhere, remind me to put, what was the name of the book? Because I hadn't heard of that one.
Well, there's Atlas Shrugged.
That one I got.
And there's The Fountainhead.
The Fountainhead, to my Audible account, so I can listen to it on the way into NexCore. The Fountainhead.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the author?
Ayn Rand.
Ayn Rand.
Yeah, she was an immigrant from Russia. She was born in Russia, and she came here, and so her philosophy, I think, now that I'm a little older, I'm 34, I don't know if hanging on to her objectivism philosophy is as applicable today. I don't know if I can apply it so much now with the life experiences that I've had that I could back then, because I was much more idealistic, I think, back then. But she is very, very staunch on selfishness as a virtue, but in a way that you have to understand and really give a shit about who you are, what you want, and having the drive so unapologetically to get what you want and what you feel you deserve. But not necessarily by all means necessary, but just she is all about there's no such thing as altruism. Everybody has a motive. Everyone has a personal motive. And even if that motive is seemingly selfless, if I'm doing something nice for you, at the end of the day, at the root, I'm doing it for myself. I'm doing it for you because it makes me feel good. And so to me, I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing, right? But it's just a different perspective. It's a different way to see it in the world. But I
think there's a lot of truth to that, though.
I agree. I really do. But for me, it just really, it made a lot of sense to me back then. But it's a above the philosophy, it's an amazing story. So I recommend it to anybody.
Very cool. And someone's going to send me a message to get that, and I will let you
know. Do it.
So let's talk about family life. You've delved a little into what it was like as a kid, but what has your life progressed to now? Do you have children, married, single?
So yeah, I've got two kids, Blair and Trevor. Blair is about to be 14, and Trevor is about to be 7. Amazing kids. Just full of life. My daughter is an amazing basketball player, straight A student, makes the principal's list, the dean's list. She's had straight A's forever. They're kind. They're so much fun. My kids are all. I think everybody thinks that their kids are the best, but my kids are the best.
I like every kid as long as they're my own.
I like that. Let's see. I'm divorced. I got divorced a couple years back. Currently in a relationship. My girlfriend Erin and I, we live together. We met overseas while we were deployed. She is a military intelligence officer in the Missouri National Guard and runs the cyber team for Missouri.
You can tell no one's listening. Does that mean she's smarter than you?
It's a good question. Yes. I made sure she could hear.
So, anyway, go ahead. So, you found someone smarter than you.
I did.
Which makes you very smart.
Which isn't yes. That makes that. You know what? It's a good point. That does make me smart.
It's not an altruistic thing.
Finding somebody smarter than me probably isn't that difficult. Communication major after all. So.
With lots of bullets. All right. So you're in a relationship now. Mm-hmm. How does your relationship now intersect with your kids' previous relationships? How is the connection between everyone? Really good. Okay. She loves kids. She loves my kids. My kids love her. She's so much fun. She's full of life. She's a giant personality. She's very giving.
very nurturing. And so that I didn't know how that was gonna. She's the first woman I've ever introduced my kids to ever. So like they're like from my side of life with my kids, the only woman that they've ever known in my life was their mom. And so I didn't know how that went, but it's worked out really well.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm very grateful.
Tell me something about you that people may find shocking. Like, give me a secret.
A secret?
Or what makes you tick?
Unless I'm really super disciplined, I will always sneak into a Casey's gas station and get an apple fritter and a breakfast pizza. Like
how often does this occur?
It definitely happens at least once a month. Like when I'm on my way to...
We're going to edit this out for your fitness promo video that we're going to be filming for you.
So when I make the trip, because St. Louis doesn't have any Casey's.
Right.
Now the Quick Trip breakfast pizzas, they're really good. But
Casey's is on the way to KC.
It is.
Right? Yeah, so it's a 70
so like
spot.
So I'm in the car, there's no eyes on me, like nobody knows me in, Higginsville or like whatever town on 70 I'm stopping in. And so yeah, I literally cannot help myself. But
so you see it. You're at 99 hundredths of a full tank.
Mm-hmm.
You have no reason to stop.
Mm-hmm.
You're driving down, you're like, oh, Casey's.
Absolutely. If I have, like, if my stomach were a gas tank, and if I had 92% full,
you would say
I would still, if I was completely full, if I had just eaten and had left St. Louis, I'm stopping at a Casey's and getting an apple fritter, a coffee, and one slice of, I try to time it so that it's in the morning so that I can have breakfast pizza, but even if it's not, I'll still get just a regular pepperoni pizza.
So do you drive a lot?
A lot. Ever since I was 16 years old, okay, fun fact, since I've been 16, my very first car was a Dodge Daytona, 1992 Dodge Daytona.
Oh, those cars were so much fun.
Dude, they were so awesome. Hatchback with the sunroof, it was really cool. It looked like a poor man's Corvette.
Manual, automatic.
It was automatic.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Bless your heart.
I know.
You didn't buy it new, would you?
Hey, I didn't buy it for myself. I didn't have a choice.
Free car, shifted how you like?
Well, somewhat free. But yeah, so I have put consistently, with the exception of the years that I've been deployed, obviously, 30,000 miles on my car every year. Every car I've ever owned. I have a 2015 Subaru Legacy. I was deployed for 13 months, 2015, and I already have 78,000 miles.
I like to drive. That happens to me driving too. So I tell this joke all the time. I'm like, if you went on vacation to Maine and you've flown home and you realize you left $5 on your nightstand and you want to drive up to go get it, I'm your guy. Let's go. Let's get in the car. I'll even split the gas with you. I just love the drive. Two funny things happened as you were talking about your Casey's. So I can't even remember where I was, but I got off of the highway to get gas and there was a Piggly Wiggly. And I didn't know that was a real thing. I just thought it was something that was on TVs. I thought it was like a TV show.
Yeah.
Made up gas station. I'm like, oh my gosh, the Piggly Wiggly. I go in and taking pictures. But the other thing was I was driving through Tennessee and I don't even remember where I was trying to go, but I pulled up to this place in the middle of the night. It was like 4 a.m. and I was outside of Cotton Eye Joe's, which I also didn't know was a real bar location place. I think it was outside of Knoxville.
Right.
And it was just so cool because my son was singing the song like days before.
Oh, wow, okay.
You know what song I'm talking about?
Yeah, the Cotton Eye Joe song.
Go ahead and sing it.
I know the words.
Okay, good.
Joe.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Where did you come from? Where did you go?
It's been a long time since I've gone
In Cahoots. Wow, that's a blast from the past.
Yeah.
I met Blake Shelton in Cahoots.
Wow.
When he had just released the song Austin.
Mm-hmm.
And he was out trying to promote He Was Nobody. And he played that song 3 times and a couple other songs, but real down to earth guy, tall. But yeah, but like he came and sat at our table for 10 minutes.
Was it Blake Shelton before he was Blake Shelton?
Oh yeah, like he was like Austin had just come out.
Okay.
Like that's his first song, first single.
So second fun fact about John?
No country.
Not a country song. Not a country fan. Not that I dislike it, I just don't listen to it.
So who? Oh yeah, you brought up In Cahoots. I brought up Blake Shelton.
Yeah.
I see the rabbit hole. All right, let's get back on track. So you deciding to make a career change is always met with a little internal something, strife, conflict, choices have to be made, thought process. So when you came back and you decided that you wanted to take a break from full-time active duty and you wanted to give your business a shot, what obstacles did you face with that?
You know what? Not many, honestly. You know, like just I had already made the decision. My last deployment was not an easy one mentally, and so coming back, I knew definitively that I knew 2 things. One, I was getting out. Didn't want to do it anymore. I was considering staying in, but going to the reserves instead of staying in the guard. When you get to, not that I'm like super high up in the, in the organization or anything, but like when you get to be a field grade officer, when you get to be majors and colonels, things get political. And when the wrong people don't have your interest in mind, then your career can kind of go in weird directions. And so I had the worst boss when I was deployed. I had the worst boss I've ever had in my entire life. He was the worst leader ever. I don't exaggerate. Yeah, I do. Ever.
Okay.
And so I was convinced that there was no way that I was going to bounce back. There was nothing that was going to rekindle my fire, nothing that was going to keep me in the organization until I got home. I took a couple months off. I had accumulated a lot of leave, and so I was out of uniform for a while. I had a chance to step away, and my boss essentially got fired. I don't know if they officially called it that, but
right,
he left.
Good news.
Very good news. And then so his boss got a hold of me and gave me an opportunity to get a little bit of mentorship, which is something I've never experienced in my whole life. Really put his wing over me and said, look, I know that things didn't go the way that you hoped that they would have went. Let me show you another path. Let me show you what we can offer if you stay. And so I stayed. So I did that, but I decided to just do it part-time. So I'm still only doing the National Guard. But what really made it interesting for me was while I was gone, I had made some really good financial decisions where investments are concerned. And I had met a guy, a really good friend of mine now, who introduced me to Bitcoin. And he introduced me, timing is everything. Especially where that's concerned. And I was fortunate enough to invest into Bitcoin when it was under 1,000 apiece. And so, but more importantly, from the investing perspective, I was able to learn about the technology. I was able to understand what blockchain is and how much power is actually behind it, how much of a change agent blockchain technology is. And so I got real wrapped up into that, like real big. But my investments paid off very well for me, and I was able to fund my business for the most part with most of the earnings that I had made. So I didn't necessarily have to out of pocket anything to start the business. Now, when I came back home, I was just still doing conventional training as a conventional trainer. I wasn't yet doing that.
You mean personal training?
Personal training, yeah.
Okay.
I was still using, barbells and dumbbells and, just regular workouts the way that I had been taught and the way that I'd been doing it for the last 20 years. And it wasn't until I had discovered the high intensity training protocol that literally everything changed. And I took my business to a completely another level. But with starting, it's like I've started two businesses. I mean, it's the same business, but it's like I've started two businesses inside the last year. And I think the real struggle is just when the days seem like, sometimes you just feel like it's not going to work out because you don't get that instant gratification. You're not always getting the feedback, the positive feedback of like, yeah, this is the direction I'm supposed to be going. It's the days, it's the times when you just have to stick it out. Just keep going, and that's really what I love about fitness, and that's where I sink my roots into, because I believe that fitness is one of the, if not the most, one of the most foundational pillars of one's success, in that no one can do your push-ups for you. No one can run for you. Like, you can't go to the store and buy bigger biceps. Even with the steroids that you might buy, you still have to lift heavy shit to get your arms bigger, right? Like, when it comes to the physical training, when it comes to fitness, it's all you. And so, having that stamina and that mental fortitude to stick through it from a business perspective, from a personal perspective, an emotional perspective, I love drawing from the fitness aspect of it.
Very cool. It's funny that you say that, because I think a lot of that defines who you are. Well, no, because I was sitting here thinking, so I'm going to be very transparent in what I'm about to say.
Hit me.
You have a super, super, super strong personality. And what I found with people that have a super strong personality, because I do as well, people either adore you or they hate you. Like, maybe hate's the wrong word.
I'm an acquired taste.
Yes.
I'm very passionate.
So it's funny that you say that, because I was thinking about the next question that I was going to ask you as you were saying that, and I think you kind of answered the root of the question, and that you believe that ultimately, if it is to be, it's up to me kind of philosophy. Like, you still have to put in the work, you still have to do this.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm willing to bet, I'm going to ask you, this is a totally different question, but when people are unwilling to put in the work, does it irritate you?
I think it irritates most people, but what...
I don't mean in fitness, I mean in general. Like, if you see, like, shortcutters, you're like, why are you doing that?
I guess so, but it's a matter of, like, what irritates me is when people aren't willing to do the shit themselves, and then they ask for my help, and they haven't even tried yet.
Right.
It's like, and I know it seems kind of cheesy or cliche or, pick your word. But it's like, it's the parable of the butterfly, right? Like the guy who finds the butterfly on his front porch, and the butterfly's coming out of its cocoon, and he's struggling hard. And then the nice gentleman helps the butterfly with that last push, because he doesn't seem like he can do it, and he ends up killing the butterfly. Because the butterfly wings are only going to be strong enough to carry the butterfly if it is able to push itself out of the cocoon. And when you help people that haven't even attempted to help themselves, like, and then they want your help, like it's on, like, you're gonna waste my time, my energy, lean on my resources that I've earned and collected for myself based on my hard work, when you haven't even given it a shot, Like, that irritates me. Or people that just complain.
That's a great story.
Or people that just complain
right.
about how hard life is, or like I can't do something. Like I can't stand it when people say can't. I do not like it when people say that I can't, because the thing is it's like it. And reading the Ayn Rand books, really, that still is resonating inside of me most of the time.
For sure, I see the tie-in.
There's
like from the beginning of this interview till now, like I'm seeing applied knowledge.
Because really, words have meanings, right?
Right.
If you are a soldier of Major Zarbock or of Captain Zarbock back in the day, all my soldiers know this. Words have meanings. Don't tell me you can't do something. Tell me you won't do it. Be honest. Use your words. Most people, if they would just change their lexicon, if they would just change their vocabulary, so much of their actions and so much of their lives would change. Because then when you hear yourself say, I won't do it, that changes the conversation a little bit. Right? Like, can you pick me up at 8? No, I can't. You can't move your schedule around. Can't get out of bed earlier. Whatever. Like, we can't, whatever. You won't. Or you're unable. Right? Like, can't has got to be removed. If you're going to be successful in anything that you want to do that is on your own merit, you have to get rid of that word. You have to. And when people tell me that they can't do shit, that drives me crazy.
So, follow-up question, then we're going to wrap this up. So what would you say to the people, and let me preface this first. So, my wife obviously loves me. Well, I hope loves me. I believe loves me.
She seems like she does.
She does. She does. And when she met you, she's like, I love John, right? Because you're like strong and you don't mince words. But I want you to speak for just a second to those people that you talk to, and because your personality is so strong, they walk away from that conversation. They go, "What a jerk!" Or
an asshole.
Or he's me. Because in getting to know you, and our history is a little unique in that we met like 6 years ago, right. Connected for a period of 30 to 60 to 90 days. I can't remember what it was, and then radio silence for years until a couple months ago.
Right.
And like I knew you as the guy that was into fitness, into the military. Thank you for your service, by the way.
Thank you for your support.
But like, I love that kind of like raw emotion. Like I'm gonna tell you like it is,
sure.
Kind of thing. But some people don't. So I don't think you're a jerk at all. Or if you are, you're the kind of jerk that I really can appreciate.
Right.
So I'd like you to speak to those people for just a second and just tell them where you're coming from without speaking to any one person.
Sure. So it's just like I have a very high give a shit factor. I care about people. I really do. You know, my mom, I think this really roots back to my mom and my grandmothers. I never really had a very strong masculine presence in my life, you know. My biological dad bailed when I was 3. You know, my mom's been married a few times. I've had stepdads kind of in and out, but like the core, the stone, the rock in my life have always been very, very strong women, and women who have come from nothing and who have had, you know, no help. My mom is always, she's in her mid-50s. She has 3 jobs. She's had 3 jobs since I was born, since she was like 21 years old. Like my grandma is, she's a fireball, you know, but they don't let me get away with anything. There's been times when like they may let me think I'm getting away with stuff, but like they will call me out on my bullshit so fast. And I love them for that. They do not let me make excuses. They will correct my verbiage. They will correct my attitude very so quickly, but they do it out of such love. It seems like they're being mean, and I didn't understand this when I was young, you know? That's why my mom and I didn't get along. She loved me so hard and was so hard and strict because she saw the end game. My mom was playing the long game for me well before I understood even what that meant, right? Like I'm playing Chinese checkers, and you know, she's like chess master. And so it was like, so now when I look at people, I have so much empathy, I think. My RPMs are maxed out when it comes to just caring and giving a shit about people. I want to see people achieve what they're capable of. My biggest fear in my life is living a life and never feeling as if I've achieved my potential. That is my biggest fear, that I would be one day old enough or in a position where I couldn't perform or do the things that I'm passionate or that I love, and have any feeling, an inkling that I could have given more, could have done something more, and not made it to the full potential. Like, I want to live in a world where, like, it's like the Jetsons. Like, I want every single person to contribute to making, like, the human species better. In whatever passion or whatever skill that they have, but I want everyone to be their best. So when I see someone not being their best, I mean, maybe it's a little bit of a projection, I think, from me, and I'm obviously willing to admit that, but it's just like, I'm the type of person, and I have a very strong personality, but I believe it's because I'm so passionate, and I have so much that I want to give and I want to help people with. I'm the type of person where I will help you 4 times harder than I'll ever help myself. It may not seem like that all the time, but I want you to succeed, and I will sacrifice myself in order to do that. And my years of service in the military, I don't know if it's because of that. I don't know if it's just because my mother and my grandparents were so willing to sacrifice everything. They didn't have to sacrifice everything, but they would. It was very clear to me that they would have. That's just who I am. And I care so much that I'm going to make you mad at me. I don't know how effective that is, but for some people, like you said, they love it. They appreciate it, they see it, and for other people, if they're sensitive, maybe that won't work for them. But I try to tailor my personality around what the needs of the person who I'm trying to work with is. As best I can.
Very cool. Well, and I feel that that's a very clearly spoken truth about you.
Well, thank you.
And it's one of the things that makes me so excited about you taking this journey with us. So a little inside track for those of you that don't know, John is bringing his unique brand of fitness and incredible intensity to NexCore Fitness. So he's going to be helping us bring let's say the name of the equipment. Oh, it's on your shirt. He's going to bring the ARX. What is the tagline of the ARX? After ARX, you called it high intensity training.
Yeah, I don't know if they have a tagline. It's adaptive resistance exercise. So it's high intensity training that takes normal conventional training that would take most people 45 to 90 minutes, depending on your condition level in a normal gym environment, and it condenses it down into about 8 minutes. It's the most effective. It's not necessarily the best exercise. That's a different conversation. But it's the most effective, efficient, and safe way to exercise that exists in the world right now. Because of the help of technology, the fit tech, the computer, the quantifiable capability of the machines, the low impact, the super slow method. These are all things that have been around for many, many years. But the technology from what computers are allowing us to do, and the science and the research that's all wrapped up into exercise physiology and exercise science, these machines are the most cutting edge exercise machines on the planet.
Fantastic. Well, I'm excited to have you here. Ian Bingham, the general manager of NexCore Fitness, and John Zarbock, who's going to head up the newly added ARX division of NexCore Fitness, are really excited to be bringing this concept.
Moving in this weekend.
So by the time you see this video, because we're pre-recording, by the time you see this video, we're going to be live and functional. So our fantastic videographer, Anthony Stewart, who is our creative director for NexCore Media Group, is going to, I think, and I'm saying this as I'm not looking right at him, put the phone number and the website right at this point in the video so that you can go online, you can call us, you can book an appointment. But John, man, I'm so excited to be taking this journey with you.
Thanks, John.
I love the energy that you bring. And guys, thanks for watching. So John is our member of the week. He's going to get his car detail from Twins Red Carpet. Twin is amazing if you haven't seen. And yeah.
Yeah.
Excited to have you here, man. Thank you guys for watching.
See you guys.